What would you say the value of a Coca-Cola logo is today? I'm not talking about the entire company, just the value of that red and white logo with a dynamic swoosh. I would hesitate to guess. Most breathing humans on the planet recognize the Coke logo in some form. They desire the Coke brand, and they're willing to part with their cash to obtain it. It's probably safe to say that whatever you had to pay for the Coke logo, you would eventually recoup the cost. A brand is the edge you need in the retail shelf war. If you offer no branding of perceived premium value to the customer and offer no uniqueness and benefit, you must sell based upon price alone. And you can never win based on selling on price alone. Why? Because there's always someone out there who will undercut you every day. It's a no margin, no win business, and a commodity product will never own the loyalty of customers who shop based upon lowest price. A brand holds no value outside its perceived area of differentiation and expertise. This is why the Pixar brand is hugely successful in animation and movie business sectors, but never considered in the fragrance area. Forays beyond a brand's natural boundaries result in brand dilution. We'll talk more about this in the future videos where we get into the brand mantra, which is essentially a virtual fence around your brand that describes what your brand is and what your brand is not. The world's museum of most extraordinarily successful brands that exist today may be found on the shelves of your local Walmart store. A student of retail will find the toughest time-tested products whose branding, if studied, will reveal years of hard-learned sales secrets. Another way to identify what makes people buy your brand can be found in your own sales organization. Your best salesperson has delivered his or her pitch 1,000 times, refining it and tweaking it at each rendition, and after year, the chances are that he or she already knows the best way to position and pitch your product. What I like to do is record the salesperson's best pitch and integrate this pitch into your branding. Why do brands exist? Brands exist because Harley-Davidson can transform a middle-aged, balding, chubby accountant into a respected, tough, leather-clad vigilante badass on the weekends. People join the Harley brand as it fulfills the desire of belonging into a social group that provides them with acceptance and respect, and yes, it fulfills their alter ego. Brands exist because eating at McDonald's delivers expectations and eliminates the risk of unknown burger joint, so people can join the McDonald's brand because they trust it to fulfill their culinary expectations. And of course, brands exist because Gucci sunglasses instantly transform the mom next door into a jet-setting celebrity, hence validating her beauty and social status. Brands deliver a value that people desire over and above the basics, providing a unique benefit such as the value of belonging, trust, or validation, worthy of a premium price. Validation brands form a customer base of willing participants who mentally join a brand as a member of this identity club. People select the identity club that best fits their self-image. To a brand owner, nothing is more valuable than owning an identity club. In search of self-identity in life, people seek to embrace popular icons, cultural personas, and ideologies that personify a lifestyle that will position them as a member of a subculture group that shares a certain set of attitudes, opinions, and beliefs. We'll talk more about this AOBs later. People want to join because they want to belong. They want to belong to a club, a team, or a group that they believe will grant them status and legacy in the group by means of personal association. A brand fulfills this need as a badge of acknowledgement, and its logo affirms the bearer of acceptance into the club and into this set of AOBs. It's much easier to join a brand than to join a club, group, or gang. Anyone with the money to buy a Harley-Davidson t-shirt may join the Harley-Davidson brand. Instantly sharing the Harley legend, the history, the attitudes, associations, and lifestyles and attributes that this brand possesses. By belonging to a group or brand, you're entitled to share the legacy and status of that group or brand. To the middle-aging, balding accountant, his Sunday ride balances his ego and self-confirmation that he still amply retains his testosterone-filled manhood amidst of modern society that forces him to conform within a 9-to-5 suit job and ties him to civilization. The Harley-Davidson brand fulfills this basic human mental void for millions of people every day. As a brand steward, you know that you have arrived when customers permanently tattoo your brand's logo on their bodies. Why golfers wear bad clothing? It's because of a brand. In search of our own personal identity, humans crave group acceptance and admiration to gain a sense of belonging. Great brands bestow these attributes upon their customers, which are why women carry hideous designer bags and why men wear ridiculous golf attire. Many sports patrons are so religious about their team that their personas become one with that team. If the team has a bad day, then they're having a bad day. If they will paint their faces, decorate their cars, and clothe their children in team branding. Otherwise, seemingly normal people will scream, shout, and physically become emotional or even fight when their team is insulted or disgraced. Sports fanatic personas become integrated as one mentally with their team, and their sports team owner is enriched by providing this service to the sports fan. As a branding professional, your job is to identify and mine an existing culture to find a profitable and desirable cultural subset of life that you can build your brand around. Those seeking to identify with a specific cultural subset will demand your brand, and it's wrapped in the flag of that subset. Your charge is to position your product legitimately, to be branded in a way that offers a desirable set of AOBs to a core subset of culture. These cultural subsets may be the Southern Rebel crowd, the Northern Yankee do-it-yourselfers, or the hip-hop crowd, or the aging Barry Manilow fan club. But whatever it is, select the subset cultural group that most values the unique point of difference that your product has to offer, and ensure that it is a profitable niche for you to pursue. Once you identify this niche and its user base, wrap your brand in the flag of this identity club and its lifestyle. By virtue of association, a valued product, honest and true to the AOBs of this subset group, will win over and own the hearts and minds of this group. The loyal buying power of NASCAR fans should be sufficient proof that this technique is successful. Drill deep within your selected subculture and absorb its essence into your brand. Integrate as many of its cultural attributes as you can into your brand, from the architecture of your store through the promotions and packaging, your product, and even your hold music on your phone. Every customer touchpoint should identify with the AOBs of this subset. The more you integrate and bond your brand with this identity group and subculture, the stronger your brand's customer loyalty will be. This loyal brand integration into a subset culture of attitudes, opinions, and beliefs is what I call deep branding. Walk into any Bass Pro shop and see what I mean about deep branding. Before you walk in the door, you're transformed into a world celebrating the great outdoors. This store is built like a Hollywood movie set, from the signage to the lighting to the decor, the product selection and promotions, right down to the hang tags and the checkout area. For fishermen, my local store has a giant 60-foot-long aquarium full of game fish. Hunters are surely impressed with a 150-foot-long gun counter that sports more game mounts than you'd find in a taxidermist shop. Bass Pro shops are a prime example of the success of deep branding principles and total subculture integration, from the product display designs to their holiday family trendy promotions. The ultimate goal of any brand. Both the Chicago Bulls and Harley-Davidson are deep brands steeped in cultural integration, whose customers have chosen to bond with these brands for the membership privileges associated with these brands' cultural identity. The ultimate achievement for your brand is to establish a presence where customers desire to become members of your brand and integrate their egos and personas into the lifestyle and success of your brand. To achieve customer membership in your brand, you must offer an appealing, deep branded subculture, an identity that is desirable within a profitable customer niche, and offer a legitimate, authentic, and unique selling proposition. Harley-Davidson and the Chicago Bulls have been around for many years. Established brands are costly and time-consuming to create. The good news is that many unserved subcultures already exist. You simply need to identify which subculture is right for your brand and wrap your brand in that subculture's flag. Speak the language of your brand. Develop and absorb the language of the subculture group that's right for your brand, and learn the unique words and acronyms with which it communicates. Integrate these words and colloquialisms into your brand's persona. Use high-tech language with a high-tech brand and Western twang with a Western-rooted brand. Christian groups use keywords that are rarely used by members outside their community, such as flock, hallelujah, born again, communion, saved, repent, resurrection, redemption. All of these core cultural words affirm one's acceptance into the group. Finding your niche. The subculture upon which you need to build your brand already exists. Your job is to identify and select the one that provides an authentic, unique, and strong position for your brand. As women are generally the purchasing agents for the home, determining 81% of all customer goods purchased, it may behoove you to contemplate if your brand's positioning should speak to women. Now, the old saying is, when fishing, choose the right bait for the right fish. As a brand guru, you're a fisherman of customers for your products. Obviously, the most compelling bait which to use to catch a customer is a brand saturated and focused in desirable core culture. Products integrated with core culture are always the first choice of that subculture group. The amazing success of this style of branding literally blocks competitors out of the entire market segment, eliciting blind, loyal, or really religious customer devotion to that brand that bonds to your DNA. The power of deep branding. A deep brand is what makes a Chicago Bulls fan paint his face, desecrate his SUV with team branding, and scream and shout at his friends. It's a power so overwhelming that even the choice of vacation location is now tied to a playoff dates in a certain city. Deep branding acts upon your brand as wind acts upon fire, increasing the area and burn rate. Building brand trust. Validation and belonging are two reasons that brands exist. The other reason is trust. The ability of a brand to deliver on a customer promise time and time again creates a bond between a brand and a customer. Trust is the value a brand offers that makes it worth a premium price over the commodity product. A marketing associate of mine frequently tells the story of how Welch's Jelly brand had survived a near brand disaster in the early 80s. A financial guru known for his cost cutting was placed in charge of the brand, and immediately he proceeded to replace Welch's generations of old ingredients, including the use of real sugar, with less expensive substitutes. Of course, sales tapered off as the brand promise and the customer's trust was broken. Welch's learned its customers placed a premium value on the Welch's brand promise, not simply the Welch's brand logo. In our next video, we'll discuss brand licensing.